Well, late last year, we spotted the FBI digging around in western Fresno County. Fox 26 News later learned that this was linked to a decades-old cold case involving the deaths of 5 babies.
Reporter Sophia Lesios has been investigating the gruesome murders and is here to tell us why it took so long for law enforcement to make an arrest.
In this case, 5 infants were killed between 1992 and 2001. And to this day, not all of their bodies have been found. And detectives say their father is accused of killing them. Many questions have surrounded this case, but one seems to be at the forefront. If this is true, how did he get away with this for so long? We do want to warn you, the details of the story might be disturbing for some viewers. Here's what I found out.
Today, we are announcing charges against Paul Perez for the serial murder of 5 of his own children, all babies.
That was back in January 2020, 13 years after a fisherman pulled an infant's body out of a waterway just east of the city of Woodland, near Sacramento.
In my 40 years in law enforcement, I cannot think of a case more disturbing than this one.
That baby, found in 2007, was less than 6 months old. He was found in a plastic container made to withstand the elements. His body crushed by weight at the bottom of a slough.
As you can imagine, having an unsolved death of a child in our files has haunted my agency for years.
The Yolocounty Sheriff's Office couldn't determine who that baby was or how it got there until October 2019.
The infant was identified through DNA as Nico V. Perez by a DNA comparison, and it was known that the baby boy was born on November 8th, 1996 in Fresno, California.
The discovery brought this cold case back to life.
The science and power of DNA has shown that monsters and killers cannot hide forever any longer.
The Yolocounty Sheriff's Office also determined baby Nico had other siblings with the same fate. 5 of Paul Allen Perez's 6 children were murdered, all born between 1992 and 2001. Detectives say the kids were killed by means of lying in wait and through torture.
This case revealed unspeakable evil, and these acts ignited a resolve in the hearts of all involved to bring justice to the vulnerable and innocent victims of this case.
Horrified, unbelievable. I've been with parents of murdered children for 30 years, and I have heard many stories of murder and what happened and listened to many people cry, but this one is something I can't even understand. It's probably one of the worst ones I have ever heard of.
Many have questions.
Why wasn't this reported earlier, and why wasn't an investigation done from day one?
And where was the mother in all of this? According to documents from Yolocounty Superior Court, Yolanda Perez is the mother of at least 4 of the babies killed. The Davis Enterprise reported Yolanda Perez was interviewed multiple times by detectives, and she confessed to witnessing the infant's abuse and disappearances, but she never reported it because she was scared.
You're so afraid of someone, so afraid that, if you tell on him, he's gonna hurt you, then she could have kept quiet for all those years.
Yolocounty District Attorney's Office later charged Yolanda Perez with 4 counts of murder and child endangerment. She pled guilty to child endangerment in September 2022. She is not behind bars and is still waiting for her sentencing.
And I really do feel for the mother and what she's going to have to go through, in the next couple years to deal with this and to get this taken care of. I feel for the sister if she has to testify. That's very difficult to do.
According to testimonies, she and Paul Perez's other daughter, Brittany Perez, never spoke up. Criminal psychologist Dr. Eric Hickey actually focused on this case in one of his classes he taught at Fresno State. He says if Brittany and Yolanda kept quiet, Child Protective Services would have never known.
You can't blame CPS because they try to do their job, but if this couple kept moving from location to location, they wouldn't know what was going on. And until, fortunately, a fisherman found a body.
The real question is, could law enforcement have done anything earlier? Probably not.
We continually review our cold cases with this being an especially open question mark that we want to bring closure to. We're as motivated as ever to solve this case.
I reached out to the Yolo County District Attorney's Office for additional information and documents pertaining to Paul Perez. In a letter, the Chief Deputy District Attorney said she would not give me any additional information about him and denied my interview request with the DA about the case because it's still an ongoing investigation. Having 5 infants involved in this case, does that also give additional motivation to continue to want to close this case?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, every victim it matters to us, and every case matters to us. This one is particularly sensational. We want to ensure that justice is served, and we want to bring closure and honor the lives of those infants that were taken needlessly.
Paul Allen Perez was already a convicted sex offender, and Dr. Hickey says in his decades of studies, this could have played a part in the killings.
And here are these 5 little children, and because they found to be been tortured, that means that there had been some element of sadism involved, very likely. And as I mentioned to some law enforcement, I said, you should consider that this could be a sex crimes case. Most people, even murderers, generally don't go to this type of extent. So that tells me that this person's been fantasizing a great deal about doing harm to babies.
And in his professional opinion, Dr. Hickey doesn't believe mental illness ever played a part in the murders.
Sometimes people say he had to have been crazy to do this. He was not crazy. Crazy means mental illness. There was forethought, there was planning, there was a methodology, there was sadism. None of this speaks to mental illness, it speaks to evil.
If Paul Allen Perez is convicted, Dr. Hickey says one thing is clear. He never had an attachment to any of his own babies.
It kind of verifies to me that there is evil in this world. We all do wrong things, but this wasn't just wrong things or even a bad thing. This was horrifically horrible that came out of something that something in hell would do.
Paul Perez was arrested in the killings of 5 of his infant children on the same day of his prison release on unrelated charges. Since Perez is facing a number of criminal enhancements, this case could be eligible for the death penalty. But in 2019, Governor Gavin Newsom signed a moratorium on capital punishment in the state. This means that while the death penalty is still technically on the books, no one is currently being put to death by the state of California. Sophia Lesios, Fox 26 News.
Perez is being held without bail. His trial is scheduled for September. Hi, I'm Monty Torres with Fox 26 News on YouTube. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, where we have loads of great content for you to choose from. And while you're here, why not click on the subscribe button right here? That way you can stay in touch with all the latest breaking news, everything news related within the Central Valley. And thank you for watching.